Hello, I'm going to cover another topic that I need to update based on the last video I did on this. The things have changed a little bit with update 46, and it has become even easier now to reach the penetration cap in trials. So let's get into it. Um, the easy part about this explanation is the tank needs to handle just major and minor breach as well as using either Runic Sunder for the taunt or Infused Crusher. Both are not needed, but as long as one of those are in place, you will be at 100% penetration for your trial group if you follow this DPS setup as well. So let's get into it. I will just show you for starters, my penetration is sitting at 7,256. Now you might think, Jesus, that's a lot. I must be lacking damage somehow because I've loaded into penetration. Absolutely not. I'm wearing optimal sets here. I have Deadly Strike on the daggers, and then I'm also running Ansul's Torment with the Veloes Mythic and a one-piece Slime Craw there. So let's get into the write-up that I have here. So the enemy resistance in trials is 18,200. It's kind of cut off there, so I'll just read it off. 18,200 in case you need that information. The next two lines are major and minor breach. This is handled most of the time by tanks as long as they are running either piercing armor or a wall of elements with elemental susceptibility. Those will both handle major and minor breach. There are other ways to get those buffs, but that's basically the most common single target method of getting those. So we'll just handle those that way. Splintered Secrets is a Herald of the Tome passive. For each Herald of the Tome ability that you slot, you get 1,240 penetration. So I'll show you that here on the character. You go into Herald of the Tome and you go to Splintered Secrets, and right there you can see, because I have two skills on my line, I have the flail and the beam on the front bar, and then on the back bar I have Inspired Scholarship and the Languid Eye. So on either bar I have 2,480 penetration just passively for slotting it. It does not shut off or anything. So that's all you need there. So the other items, Runic Sunder, you could substitute Infused Crusher, but I will say Infused Crusher is not as optimal because it's only going to hit one enemy, and it's a lot harder to control what enemy it hits. I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you use the Runic Sunder taunt over the Infused Crusher because it's such a powerful skill. I am going to definitely highlight this skill in a video and cover everything that it does. It has got to be one of the most overpowered skills in the game. I really hope they don't touch it. It's really a nice tool to use. But then there's the Veloes Mage's Amulet, the Mythic, that is passively going to grant you. The very first line there is 1,650 penetration. So that also never shuts off. That's just there passively. Then what you need to do from here on out, you have to wear one piece of armor. One piece of light armor. You definitely want to wear more than one piece of armor. One piece of light armor. Typically that's going to be your helmet in most cases. And then this passive right here, the piercing passive, when you fill this in fully, it gives you 700 penetration. Okay, so then the last piece that you need to make sure you have to wear at least one set that has a line of offensive penetration. So for example, Ansul has it with the 4-piece setup here. Now there's a very popular setup for boss fights to use Null Arca, which is great. Absolutely run that. But you don't want to run Null Arca with Deadly, because you're going to lose out on your penetration. So what set do you want to use with Null Arca? I would recommend running the Tideorn craftable set. This is going to give you that line of penetration, and it's going to keep your direct damage up, and it's going to hit fairly hard, and it's going to keep your penetration right where it needs to be. You need to have at least one line of penetration on a 5-piece set or some set. I suppose you could make your monster set a penetration set if you wanted to, just to kind of make it so you could wear whatever set combination you wanted. You may be overpen in some cases, depending on what you wear, but a very common 1-piece penetration set is going to be Valkyn Skoria is one. That's a real easy monster set to get. And then also, I believe, Archdruid is also another one that you could run there. Those two have the one line of penetration. I'm sure there's probably others, but those are the ones that I have memorized. So yeah, as long as you run this setup where you have minor breach handled with Runic Sunder, then all you have to have is the Herald of the Tome passive with 2 skills slotted, and then literally the Veloes Mage's Amulet, and then one set that has a line of penetration somewhere. It could be your 1-piece monster set, it could be a 5-piece set, but you want to make sure that you have at least one line of penetration there to handle your line there for 1,478. Pause the video right here if you want to add all that up yourself. You will find that you are under penetration by, I believe it's 129 or so. So it's almost right on the nose. This is very easy to keep up because the tank's going to use Runic Sunder to taunt anyway, and literally everything else on this setup here does not fluctuate or shut off. Everything else is 100% passive, and it does not change. So the Major Minor Breach and Runic Sunder is the only thing that's going to change there. And as soon as the tank gets those applied, you're going to be at 100% penetration. Now, if you watched my previous video about 100% critical damage, that is going to equate to a massive melt if you've got these two categories covered, because these are the only two things that ZOS has put a cap on: the critical damage cap and the penetration cap. Those are the most powerful things in the game that you can take advantage of to get your damage in your group to skyrocket. Make sure you do this, and you should have a much better performance in your trials if you do that. Again, it's a really simple setup. DPS build is really easy to run. It's literally essentially like a 1.5 bar setup. So if you've got people that are used to running 1 bar builds, I mean, this is literally, it's that easy. You just flail a couple of times and beam, and you're going to do a ton of damage. This is on a dummy that doesn't have buffs, and I'm already hitting 47,000 right there just from doing that. So, and I didn't even have the banner going. So just make sure you get all those covered, and your group should be absolutely murdering. Thanks again for watching. I'm going to do some more videos when I can. Check out my channel. I have organized playlists on my channel. If you go onto my channel and then look at my playlists, I have everything separated and organized by category: tanks, healers, DPS, trial groups, farming, all kinds of stuff, PvP, general knowledge. I've got videos on companions, the Infinite Archive, even free travel with the home tours feature of the game. Check out my channel and all the content there. It might help you out in something. You might learn something that you didn't know. Who knows? Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.